Welcome to The Unlikely Executive, the podcast where passion meets purpose. Here we share stories of people who have transformed their lives and the world around them by following what truly drives them. I'm Barbara Carlisle, an executive coach and mentor for non-profits, and I help people who want to make a positive impact actually do it. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to The Unlikely Executive. This week I have the pleasure of talking to Chelsea Slater, founder and CEO of InnovateHer. Hello, Chelsea.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
And
I'm
yourself?
excited to be here. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Great. Can you introduce yourself for the listeners, please?
Yeah, of course. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of a social enterprise called InnovateHer, who have been around for about 10 years now. And our mission is to get girls ready for the tech industry and the tech industry ready for girls. I run that organisation, and on the side of that, I also consult for other social enterprises. I'm very passionate about that and sit on various boards within like education, technology, and the third sector, which is like the three main areas which I work within.
Thank you. And can you tell us a little bit more about how you get girls ready for tech and how you get tech ready for girls? Is that your tagline? Because it's fabulous. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So the first thing that you mentioned there was within the mission was to get girls ready for the tech industry. And within that, or to achieve that part of the mission, we run free programs in schools for 13 to 17-year-olds, prioritising girls and non-binary students. And then programs exist of things like inspiring assemblies, role model talks, facilitating trips into the tech industry so they can go and explore. But also we have an e-learning platform where we actually build and teach skills in young people. So we have like a cybersecurity course on there, tech for good, AI, coding, like anything that you can think of within tech. We teach through that. So that's like that side of the mission, and that's all free for young people. And then the second half of the mission is getting the industry ready for girls, and we support tech companies within the work that we do with their inclusion strategies and initiatives. So we support them with like workshops, training, policy creation, and I always say like we're the inspiration piece for both students and companies to do better. So on the company side, to make them more inclusive so that then the young people go in and retain within the industry. But with the students as well, we're here to inspire them, to empower and uplift them, raise their aspirations and all of that.
Yeah, there's so many questions going through my mind, but I know I've got to ask just one. And the first question is, when you are getting girls ready for tech and it's 13 to 17-year-olds, so you're reliant on working in schools and with schools, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we deliver through schools because they're where the majority of children are. And we also prioritise schools in areas of need and students that are in need. So they might be on free school meals. They might live in postcode areas that are of higher deprivation. We track all of that and try and target them because we find that we have the most impact in them areas. And it's much needed, especially in the north of England.
Yeah. And are schools open to work with you, and or is there a bit of resistance and they think, oh, actually, we're already giving our children what they need and we can't do this extracurricular thing? Or you know, what works really well for you?
It is challenging working with schools, but not for the examples that you probably shared there. It's more around their lack of time that is the biggest one. So teachers have so many barriers that they face, including time pressure, budget restraints on schools, things like that. So when we work with a school, they're mostly very keen to work with us because they might not have up-to-date technology information within the curriculum. They need someone to bring it to life. We offer lots of different resources for them to do that. But I think the main challenge that we have is maintaining the relationship with the school and that one or two teachers that we work with through a long period of time, because we want to work with students from the age of 13 right through till they're 17 and thinking about their next steps in their career. So maintaining that is sometimes difficult. You get teachers leaving, or busyness just happens, and then trying to get the, as you say, in the extracurricular bit of school, it sometimes is difficult. But generally, we have a really positive experience with all of our schools that are engaged.
Yeah. And can you tell me how many? This isn't a quiz. If you don't know the answer, that's absolutely fine. But how many people are you helping in a year?
Last year, we helped 40,000 young people.
40,000?
Yeah. And to date, I think we've worked with 64,000. The aim is to get to 1 million in 10 years.
Wow.
However, like, whilst them numbers sound great, that is top level of like what we're doing. So assemblies, big events, that kind of thing. The thing that I'm really passionate about is actually what happens next.
Yes.
So we work with 2,000 people more directly through our e-learning platform. So the students on there might have done a number of courses with us. So they might be the ones that are more engaged. So I'd say, we've worked with 60,000 people, which is amazing. We've probably sparked so much interest within them, but actually it's that 2,000 people that are within our platform, within our community, that's consistently coming back to us. They're like, that's like the high impact stuff that we're doing.
And would you help the young people find work if you've been through the training, they've been through the e-learning, they've got that knowledge, they're building up the confidence, but they don't know how to actually get a job? Because I've got children and one of them's been applying for something and it's just incredibly difficult to find a job.
It's so hard, even for us as adults. It's really hard. We're living in a world now that, jobs, you have to have like 4 or 5 interviews before you get them, and they're so hard to come by. It's going to be really hard for a young person, and yet we do help them. So the journey that they go on is they might do an inspiring assembly for us, and then they might go and do a role model talk. They might then go, oh, right, I want to learn some skills now and do some stuff on our e-learning platform. We might facilitate a trip for them, take them somewhere to really like cement what it's like working in tech. Although a lot of it's working from home now. So being realistic around that is what we do. And then we, support them with either apprenticeships and applying for them, writing their CV if they want to go on LinkedIn and start to form a network, which we encourage. Yeah. Or to go straight into a role, or to go to university. We kind of look at all of those things. Apprenticeships are something we're really passionate about at the moment, because there's so many great ones in tech and they can go and earn money straight away and get practical experience. So that's something that we do encourage and showcase quite a lot. We do, and it's much needed, isn't it? Like, the careers advice in schools, in some schools, is absolutely brilliant, but I think it's limited in the vast knowledge of what is going on within the tech and digital industries. That's lacking a little bit, so that's where we can come in.
And I think what I'm thinking, if I was a child of 13 who connected with InnovateHer and then connected again at 14, 15, 16, 17, it's that consistency, isn't it? And having somebody on your side who can support you to excel in whatever you want to do in the tech world. And when we talk about the tech side of things, are we talking about supporting young people to have a career in the tech sector as, I'm going to call them techies? Yeah. Are we talking IT, AI, data analysts, or are we talking about the tech sector as you could be in the finance function, you can be in the HR function? So what are we trying to aim for here?
So we take a really broad approach. We do talk about tech functions, like you were talking about data analysts, coding, development, editing. It's very vast. However, we do talk about them roles within all industries. And we find, we've recently done a survey with young people, 2,000 young people, and their interests come back as they love fashion, they love beauty, they love sports, they love music. So what we're trying to do is align technology into those specific industries. So we've just launched a sports tech course, for example, showcasing the sports industry and what roles are within tech, because I'll ramble on a bit now, but
I'll stop you when I need to.
Yeah, please do. This is important. So young girls, they keep telling us that their role models are footballers now because of the women's football team, which is amazing. They've inspired them. Very male-dominated industry, football, traditionally, isn't it? And they tell us that they want to be professional footballers. Now, that's amazing. High aspiration, go for it. However, 0.0001% of those young people will get there. So what we try and do is say, you can still work within sports. That's your passion and you should follow that. But actually all of these roles exist within it. So InnovateHer was founded in Liverpool. You've got Liverpool Football Club. They hire 400, 500 people in their tech team. And I don't think people realise that, like what goes on behind the team or behind anything that these young people use. I think that's what we're really trying to encourage them to see.
Yeah.
So that, that it broadens their horizons and opportunities.
But I really like that, how you're understanding what the young people are passionate about and then identifying that actually, whether it's fashion, sport, music, there is always a tech side that they can then think about whether that's something they want to do in the future.
Yeah, because they often don't draw them lines between them at all.
Yeah.
Even when we've asked the question of like, you're on TikTok, who designed that? Like, who's behind it? You have a really good experience on that app. Why? Like, lots of user experience people, UX designers, are working on that app to make it seamless for you. And that's probably why you enjoy being on there. Hundreds of people will be behind that. And they're like, what? That's mad. And I'm like, yeah, well, you could be one of those. And that, I think it's just making them understand the reality of like what happens to create something. Because I think they think that it can be quite easy, you know, like when you are scrolling on TikTok, not even knowing what goes into that. Even I, like, sometimes I'm surprised by that. So.
Yeah. But it's helping them to stop and think.
Yeah.
Like how and why and what. Can I ask you a little bit about your own journey? CEO, founder of a social enterprise doing really well, supporting lots and lots of young people across the Northwest and beyond.
Yeah,
Is that right?
UK.
And can you tell me a little bit about how you decided that InnovateHer was the thing you were going to set up?
Of course. So it's a bit of it's really linked to this podcast name and theme, because I definitely didn't consider entrepreneurship or being a business leader at all when I was younger. But I was very passionate about digital. So I went to college and did a BTEC in graphic design, photography and film, which was really creative.
Yeah.
I wasn't that good at any of them. And I chose graphic design, but that then led me to marketing, went into marketing. And it was at the time, it was 2008, and a lot of businesses started to use like Twitter, Facebook. I don't think Instagram was around then, but they were using it for business. And I saw it as an amazing free tool for small businesses to use to promote their businesses. Yeah. So I then was so passionate about that, I got into digital. I then worked at a tech company at the side of my education in university, as well as working in like 2 bars at the time. And whilst I was there, I realised that I was the only woman in the office. And actually, I saw like quite poor leadership practices and realised, probably I've reflected on this and I didn't realise at the time, but I was experiencing like sexism in the workplace. I was seeing that the workplace in tech wasn't that diverse. It was full of white men of a similar age. And that's when I thought, oh my God, I need to do something about this. I felt so passionately about the industry and about the work that I was doing, but not the environment. So I launched something called Liverpool Girl Geeks as a passion project. We put on events in Liverpool. We got women to talk at them, who were working in technology, and we grew an amazing community. And then I was so lit up by this. I had a fire in my belly and I was like, I want to do this full time if I can. So I thought about it as a business. I set up a social enterprise and started to think about what I can do, which is a little bit bigger than what Liverpool Girl Geeks aims were. And that's when InnovateHer was born. So yeah, it kind of was a bit of a snowball, I always say. And I know that I'm a hard worker, and I know that, you know, I don't think it's luck or anything like that. Yeah. I've put the work in, but it feels like it's just been one continuous journey that I've kind of I'm just here. Yeah. And this has just happened through passion, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's a really great story. Can I take you back to something you said right at the start of answering that question? And that is, you didn't really think about entrepreneurship. What did you think about at that age, when you were in school? What were your aspirations?
So I will admittedly say I had quite low aspirations as a kid. I am from a working class family and town, which is Wrexham. And we just generally in my friendship group and at school, we didn't get told to do much. Like I'm doing now, introducing people to people working in the tech industry. We didn't have any of that. So my aspiration was to be a cashier in Tesco, or I worked in Woolworths and I absolutely loved that job. I'm not saying that isn't a good job.
Yeah.
That suits so many people, but that was the limit to my aspiration. And it wasn't until it was later on in school, I was just about to go to college and I didn't know what I was doing. And someone did come and talk to me about media. And that's what encouraged me to then select multimedia at college. And still then, that was just one key moment, one person coming in and talking to us. After that, I think that was like a pivotal moment for me, because I was like, oh my God, what is media? What can be done? Went into uni, that BTEC was amazing. I think BTECs are great. And I think they're not as popular as they used to be. It was so practical and creative, and it really aligned with whatever was going on in my brain at the time. I'm not an academic person. I'm much better on a practical side rather than writing essays. So that was just perfect for me. And I think that lit so much passion and gave me so much energy in terms of, my future. And that's, but then I never, even now, I don't look 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
I set goals for the year, but I just try and stay open to like new opportunities, meeting new people, and then from there you kind of you follow that route and that journey in a way.
Things happen.
Yeah,
things happen.
and I think that would be what I would say to other people as well. You don't need a big plan. If you just be open-minded and say yes to a few things that might feel a bit uncomfortable, like me doing this podcast 10 years ago, I would have never said yes to it.
Yeah.
And, things like this still make me nervous, but, saying yes to a few things, getting into new spaces and meeting different people are the thing I think that's helped me on this journey.
Yeah. So feel slightly uncomfortable, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you've always got the option. You can always stop doing it
exactly
if it doesn't bring you the joy and the passion that you're looking for.
I think my whole career has been uncomfortable, like uncomfortable experiences, one after the other.
But you're still smiling.
Yeah, and I do enjoy them now. I seek them out actually, because I think that's what helps you grow. As a person.
Can I ask you, as a leader, Chelsea, what strengths do you bring to your team?
So I think I bring a lot of empathy. I'm a very empathetic leader. I cry a lot in meetings and I'm very open with my team, very transparent. And I think that's unusual actually within leadership. It means that the culture that I've got at InnovateHer is a very transparent one and is a very caring one. And I think that's because I've set that tone and been quite vulnerable in my journey. We've got a team of 10 now, and that's amazing. Never thought we'd get there. But a lot of the people that are there have been with me since the beginning.
Yeah.
And they've seen my leadership journey and I've seen theirs. So I think that vulnerability is absolutely what I've brought and has allowed people to be themselves and to bring their vulnerabilities in. I think also I'm a visionary. I bring a lot of new ideas and innovation within the team. And I think that has really helped us to grow and move with what external factors has happened, like COVID, for example. We quickly become an e-learning company within that. And that's been the best thing that we've ever done. A quick decision. We prototyped an e-learning platform. We did it really quickly and got feedback. And that's the route that we've remained on ever since then. sometimes it can be it can get in the way because I can bring too many ideas to it. But I've got an amazing COO, Ria, who really reins me in, but also makes the stuff happen that is needed to happen within the business. So I've learned that having right people in the business alongside me as well, and not me doing it all or meddling in with everything is awesome.
So you've got people to support you on the practical execution, and you're in a position where you can share your creativity and your vision, the in the moment creative ideas that you have as an ideas generating type person, and that you can bounce your ideas off other people, and you're open enough to accept that all ideas are not necessarily going to become reality. Is that right?
Yeah. And some of my traits are that if I think it's a good idea, I'll go all in on them. I will be like so focused and like laser focused on that. But then Ria will go, have you done some research into if people want this thing? I'm like, oh no, we should do that.
Yeah.
And often or not, like I do have the inkling, and then it works out and we end up doing that thing. If it's a strong, thing that I feel like is needed within the business, but it's really, really good to have that different perspective. And I think going back to your question around what I bring and what the culture of InnovateHer now is that we do challenge each other. Whoever in the business can challenge, whether you're senior or not senior, we challenge each other in a really healthy way. And I've never been in a business where that happens. It's normally really uncomfortable, but we've got a culture that actually we want that challenge, because we just won't move anywhere if we haven't got it.
And people do say we've got an open culture, but it's not quite as open as it should be.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing you saying is that you have got that culture where people can challenge without fear, which is all around that psychological safety, isn't it? As soon as people trust each other and feel able to speak out, it doesn't mean that they don't like you. It's just that they've got a thought that might be counter to your idea. And it's that talking it through that's really important, isn't it?
And that's so we're all about diversity and inclusion, and diversity of thought is the most important thing in that. Like, their perspectives are going to make whatever decision we make the best decision. And so if we don't have them important, critical, challenging conversations, we're not going to be able to get to a solution that, will work for our users or the audiences that we want to reach. So it is amazing that we've cultivated that. But I also think you have to work on it consistently, because it can easily go. We're a fully remote organization as well. So we've got another barrier there of like computers in the way, like reading people's body language is often hard. It's quite hard online, isn't it? But we've done a good job, I think, of cultivating, keeping that open culture, even though we are fully remote, which is what we wanted.
So if you're going to recommend to a CEO what they should do to create that inclusive culture, what would you recommend?
If you're starting the journey of entrepreneurship, I think it's easier to do it at the beginning rather than, you've got 20, 30 staff and you haven't thought about this.
Yeah.
It'll be the same process, but it might take a little bit longer if you've got a bigger team. But I think from the get-go, I've always brought everyone in the business involved in all of the decisions that we make. Even now, as a company of 10, we set the 3-year vision together, the 1-year picture, the goals that we do quarterly. Everyone plays a part in that. And I know it's harder as you grow to do that, but as long as people have ownership at some part of that journey and feel responsible, then that's when I think people will just feel like they've got a better place in the business. We've got values and behaviours as well that we have ingrained within the business, and they're all aligned to PDPs. We talk about them in all of our meetings. And if someone hasn't behaved in a certain way because of X, Y, and Z, we'll bring that up, like, why, what's going on?
Yeah.
And we'll challenge, and they'll challenge us again. Like, if I don't behave in a certain way, I will get challenged, which is great. And I think owning up as a leader to your mistakes as well creates a vulnerability within the team that people can do that themselves. And we all make mistakes all of the time, and that's fine. I think as a leader, you need to showcase that. having policies in place as well. Like, I'm not, in the past, I wouldn't have been bothered about having policies. Like, before this journey, I would have thought that was a bit too formal. But actually, having policies in place and setting really clear expectations with your team from the get-go as soon as you employ them, I think that is such good practice and means that there's a lot of clarity within the business from the start. People know where they're at. We have like things like mental health policy. They know if they're struggling with their mental health, there's something to read there. They can see what we provide for them. You know, they know that we can talk about it because it's in a policy. So I am a big advocate for that these days.
Yeah.
Creating clarity, being open.
Yeah. So getting your processes and systems right so that everybody knows that they're there and then they can use them as they see fit.
Yeah, and then getting them involved in that. So the mental health policy that I mentioned, we've got an enhanced like parental leave policy. We've done that with the team. So even if you're a solo founder and you want to create these things before you've got a team, just doing that with a group of people with different experiences is great because they can tell you what they would like to see in a policy, what they've seen before, what they didn't like, and then you can create or co-create that with them then, and that's what we do. We tend to pick a policy per year that we want to enhance if we have the budget, because they do cost, and we do that with the team, which is also great for the communication of that policy because they'll understand it if they've co-created it as well.
Great. So lots of things going on for you. Can I ask how you relax? How do you de-stress if you are stressed at all?
I do get stressed. I'm quite a stressy person, but I am good at knowing when I am stressed, and I do a lot of relaxing, and I'm fortunate enough not to have any children or caring responsibilities really at the moment. So I do get a lot of time to be able to reflect and relax, which is great. Go to the gym. I love walking. I love yoga. I love reading. I read 40 books last year, which I'm very proud of.
Well, we'll ask for recommendations outside this, for sure.
I have loads. So, and I go to the library. I'm a big fan of the library now. When I'm in the UK, especially in Liverpool, the Liverpool libraries are amazing. And just being in that environment, like as soon as I step into a library, I'm like, chill. It's like some people find like museums or gardens or whatever. I find that in libraries. So yeah, I do a lot of self-care. Another thing that I decided in COVID was to make the business a 30-hour week business. So we reduced everyone's hours. We didn't reduce salaries, and that included myself. So I only work 30 hours a week, and I condensed them to Monday to Thursday. So I have a long weekend. So I think balance has become much easier in the lifetime of me becoming a leader.
Yeah.
I found that balance has been the most important thing, but also the thing that I've been able to find as I'm more comfortable in this role.
So the whole team work 30 hours a week?
Yes.
And can you see that that's benefiting them as well as you?
Absolutely, yeah. We've not analysed it as such in terms of like productivity, but you feel it, you have a sense of it. People just feel happier. I think we don't have many people leaving InnovateHer now. We've definitely had like turnover in the past, and now we have a team that feel happy, are very productive. They, have so much time off really, like in terms of not even just holidays, it's during the week, that longer weekend for everyone, and that flexibility, like that's the most important thing. Some people might go, I'm having a really rubbish week and I need a day in bed. I'm just going to make up these hours another time, or I'm just going to do Monday to Friday this week, shorter hours every day. I decided to do that this week to ease me back into the year rather than condensing. And it is just all about that flexibility. I have lots of parents in the team who pick up their kids at 3:00 and then work a couple of hours in the evening or do longer days on certain days. And that really works for them as well. So it's all around flexibility. The only core hours we have are 10 till 1 on a Tuesday and 10 till 4 on a Wednesday.
Right.
And that's for team collaboration. But around that, anyone can work when they want to. It's amazing, really.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
And it's doable.
It is doable.
It benefits everybody involved, doesn't it? And can I just ask you, as we wrap up, is what would you like to leave people with
There's a few things.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think one of the things that really started my career and journey within leadership was that passion piece, but also having the courage to speak up about something that I cared about. And as I'm all around diversity and inclusion, working with tech companies in particular, I think if you work within a male dominated industry or not, like you might just see something that, doesn't feel right. I think speaking up about it, talking to a manager, talking to someone else about what you could potentially do to challenge that. And you never know, a business might come out of it like it did for me. I think that's what I'll encourage, is to take action and to speak up about something. It might not even be about entrepreneurship. It might just be about creating a better environment for yourself or for others within the workplace by speaking up. So that's definitely something that I would say. And I think reflection for me has been the most important part of my journey. Since becoming a leader, I have reflected and built reflection into my routine. So every Friday I'll reflect on my week. Every year I'll do a huge reflection piece on the year and what the next year could look like based on my failures, most importantly, and my lessons there. What I've learned. And I think doing that as you go helps you to become a leader that is much better for other people, but also much better for yourself as well.
Yeah, and because it is so difficult for many people to reflect. I'm a coach and I find it difficult to reflect, but it is about building it in and doing it regularly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And are you a reflective writer or a reflective speaker, or if somebody wanted to reflect, how do you even begin to reflect?
So I write, and I actually got ChatGPT to help me this year, or last year in preparation. So I have goals for the year, and I normally have a word, and I asked ChatGPT to just give me 3 reflection questions that aligned with that word. And it did, and that's all I do on a Friday is ask myself them 3 questions and write. I only have a small notebook and I write like 1 or 2 pages. It's very short. I don't put any unrealistic expectations on myself. I'm not a writer, so whilst I do write in my journal and reflect, I just ask myself the 3 questions. You could even just ask yourself 1 question to start with, but put it in your diary. Friday mornings for me are when I do it. So
thank you ever so much, Chelsea. And if people wanted to get in touch with you, how could they get in touch with you?
Follow me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best place to find me. I'm Chelsea Slater on there. And then if you're interested in working with InnovateHer or are interested in just what I said around next generation and skills, and then follow InnovateHer, either innovateher.co.uk, or you can find us on all social media channels. So follow us on there. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming along today, Chelsea.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for tuning in to The Unlikely Executive. If today's conversation sparked a new idea, inspired a shift, or gave you the nudge to step into your purpose, embrace it and take action. Remember to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss opportunities that can transform the way you lead, work and live your life. I'm Barbara Carlisle, executive coach, mentor and trainer. You can find my details in the show notes, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about the show and about your own journey. Until next time, take that step to be more authentically you, live your purpose and enjoy making a positive impact.